I don't think you should strive to be 100. I think you should try to do something worthwhile in life. Help people.
Kirk Douglas and his wife Ann have been helping people for several decades. The longtime movie star grew up very poor, but Hollywood made him very rich.
I made a lot of money being an SOB on camera.
And over the years, Kirk and Ann have donated a lot of that money, more than $100 million, to causes close to their hearts: the homeless, Alzheimer's, and refurbishing more than 400 playgrounds in the Los Angeles Unified School District.
When you have been born poor, you have sympathy to help other people. So I have given all my money away. I want to go out of this world the way I came in, with nothing.
100 years of life has given Kirk a lot: a successful movie career, 3 Oscar nominations and an honorary Oscar, and a signature role.
What's your name, slave? Spartacus.
But the name of Kirk's personal favorite film of his, the 1962 Western, Lonely Are the Brave.
All right, whiskey girl. Just another 50, 75 yards and we got pine trees rolling all the way to Mexico.
I love that picture.
So many pictures. Does it ever make him want to act again?
Everything made me want to act again. But now I look at lying in my bed and I see all my scripts across the room. 90 movies. That's enough.
Kirk has invited me back to his house when he turns 105. At 100, he's still got it.
I'm talking about you.
Who's that man?
I don't know. He's asking me questions about you.
Watch out for him.
I know you.
Sleeping Beauty and her prince fell in love in a forest made enchanting by background artist Ivan Earl. Earl was the color stylist and background painter on Sleeping Beauty, who Walt Disney personally picked to create the film's overall look. We go to the Disney Vault to see the original paintings and learn more about Ivan Earl.
He was a serious artist before he started at Disney. Then he came in and made this huge contribution to this film that has become iconic.
An exhibit of a Disney legend is currently on view in the Museum of Forest Lawn in Glendale. Many of Earl's 65 works here have never been on public display, and among his many artistic styles are 3 Sleeping Beauty background pieces on loan from Disney. In his documentary, Earl shared his creative process.
I'll try to show you how I paint a painting.
Earl returned to creating fine art full-time after 15 years in animation, and he worked prolifically almost till he died 16 years ago. The Forest Lawn Museum is free and open year-round and is a chance to see his unique style, the work of an artist who had his first show in France at age 14. In the Animation Research Library, the Sleeping Beauty backgrounds are treated like the art they are, made long before digital animation. Early animation used a multi-plane camera, shooting through the layers of cells down to the background painting, the bedrock of the scene. And Disney had a definite look he wanted.
For Sleeping Beauty, Walt wanted to make a film that he would call a moving illustration. It was very reminiscent of the artwork from pre-Renaissance era. And so Ivan Earl would study that.
Earl's study produced this magical look that's both mid-century and medieval at the same time. The work of Ivan Earl reminds us that animators are artists and not merely cartoonists. Reporting from Forest Lawn in Glendale, Adrienne Alpert, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Here's a story of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3
Florence Henderson sure made her mark on television with the Brady Bunch. In a career spanning more than 6 decades, she welcomed all the love it brought her, as she told me back in 2009.
And I received so much affection for that little show. You know, everybody wants a hug. That's the question I'm asked the most. Can I have a hug? Well, yeah.
Henderson's career began long before the Brady Bunch and lasted long after.
I got my first job in television in 1952, singing off camera on the Ed Sullivan Show. That was my very first job, and then shortly after that I was on camera and I've never looked back.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day.
That song from Oklahoma. When Florence was 18, Rodgers and Hammerstein picked her to play the lead in a national tour of the show. She did Broadway, movies, and lots of TV. The Brady Bunch returned in various incarnations over the years, including a variety show, which allowed Florence to do more singing. In 2010, Florence joined the cast of a show she loved, Dancing with the Stars. And in September, she was on the dancing stage again, in a number featuring her Brady Bunch daughter, Maureen McCormick. Just this past Monday night, she was back in the dancing audience. Suddenly on Wednesday, Florence was hospitalized and died of heart failure Thursday night, surrounded by loved ones. Florence had a lot of love in her heart. And today we saw love for Florence left at the famous Brady house and here on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
People, let me tell you about my best friend.
In 1969, Bill Bixby played a widower raising his young son in the courtship of Eddie's father. For Brandon Cruz, who played Eddie, those 73 episodes together forged a lifetime friendship.
Bill was a mentor to me. He was a father figure to me. He was a guy who told me no acting. We hired a kid, remain a kid.
Seems to me like I'm falling down a lot.
No, sport. It's all the way in which you fall.
Oh.
I think about Bill constantly. His name is my son's middle name, Bixby. So Bixby is big in our family.
And for decades, he was big on television. In 1963, it was for My Favorite Martian.
Uncle Martin, did you know that you're invisible?
In 1977, he took the lead on The Incredible Hulk. Now, Brandon is taking the lead for Bixby, who died of prostate cancer at the age of 59.
2 weeks before he passed away, he was directing Blossom. I went to the studio to watch him film and direct, and we had lunch. And he was pretty thin, and he said, you know, I'm going to beat this. And I said, well, you beat this, I'll get you a star. And now 23 years later, I'm working to get him that star.
Brandon started a GoFundMe page to raise $35,000 to get Bixby a star. $30,000 for the star itself, $5,000 for various expenses. He plans to be on the Walk of Fame Friday at 1 near Madame Tussauds to hold a little rally and raise a little money to reach that goal before the May 31st deadline.
It all goes into a bank. If we don't make it and he doesn't get nominated, we can resubmit in a year.
Bixby's immediate family needs to okay the nomination for the process to continue. Then in June, the Hollywood Walk of Fame Selection Committee will meet to decide who's selected for the next set of honors.
I really feel that if 300 or 400 people come together to get this star for Bill, it's going to mean that much more because they all have a little piece of it.
We'll know by early July if everything works out. George Pinocchio, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.